Hey, what's going on? I'm Matt O'Leary back with another video, and today's topic is going to break down the New York Jets versus the Pittsburgh Steelers going on this Sunday. But before we get started, I just wanted to mention that you can follow me on social media at Matt O'Leary NY on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. So now that we got that out of the way, let's jump into today's video. Should also mention that I will not be live tweeting the Jets game because I'm going to be with family. As many of you know, obviously, the holidays are coming up, so I got family in town that I'm not going to see for the holidays on the 24th or 25th. So I'll be watching the game and hanging out with them on Sunday. So the post-game breakdown is going to be a little bit delayed. Hope you guys understand. And also just wanted to say to all my viewers, hope you guys have a very happy holidays. Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, whatever you celebrate. Hope you have an amazing time with your friends and family. So to me, the biggest matchup is what the Steelers' defensive line is going to be able to do to the Jets' offensive line. The Steelers' defense is great. We know that. And offensively, yeah, they've struggled because they're on their third quarterback. But defensively, that defense has carried that team. That's why they're in a position to potentially make the playoffs. TJ Watt has 13 sacks. He's been phenomenal, almost as good as his brother. Bud Dupree has 9.5, and Cam Hayward has 8. So those are three guys who are closing in on double-digit sacks. They get after the quarterback. And as we know, the Jets' offensive line is arguably their biggest weakness. And Sam Darnold is clearly not as effective when he's under pressure. So I think Mike Tomlin, who's a very good coach, is going to try and get his defensive line his strength and get after the quarterback and make Sam Darnold make mistakes, or try to get Sam Darnold to make mistakes, which Darnold has been better at limiting those mistakes, but against a tough defense like this, it could be a long day for the young quarterback. As for the Steelers on the offensive side of the ball, I'm really looking at Devlin Hodges, or Duck Hodges. He's thrown for over 200 yards in just 2 of his 6 games. He's coming off a 4-interception performance against the Buffalo Bills. Didn't look good at all on a big stage. Obviously, the Jets' defense is not as talented as Buffalo's, but their defense can hold their own. And I think Greg Williams is going to do a pretty good job of confusing Hodges, especially in the first half. Maybe in the second half, Tomlin, again, a good coach, makes those halftime adjustments, and they can do a little bit more offensively. But I think he is going to be able to create pressure. And that is going to be the key thing. Because, yes, they've gotten a lot out of their no-name, I'm using air quotes there, cornerbacks and secondary, a kind of replacement level secondary. But I think the Jets are going to try to send a lot of pressure and force Hodges into making a mistake. Now getting into the DVOA segment that I do every week, we'll start with the Steelers and how they're looking overall. They are 16th in terms of DVOA. Offensively, 30th in the league. Obviously not that great offensively. When you're on your third quarterback, that's expected. But defensively, they are 3rd in the league in defensive DVOA. That scares me a little bit going into this game because the Jets' offense, well, they're not so great. When you look at them overall, their DVOA, the New York Jets, are 29th in the league. Offense, they're dead last at 32. And defense, pretty good, a little bit above average, 13th. It's dropped a little bit. They were in the top 10 at one point. Run defense, we know, is very, very good. But pass defense, that's where they struggle a little bit. I don't think they'll necessarily struggle this week, but I think that overall, when you're looking at those two teams, obviously the Steelers have a little bit more of an edge in terms of DVOA because they have the much deeper team. There's no denying that. I think it's going to be a rough day for the New York Jets offense. I don't see them putting up a ton of points. I think this is one of those games where they get like 1 touchdown, which they've done a ton. In most of their games, they've scored 1 touchdown or less. That's really scary. Outside of obviously the streak against the Giants, the Raiders, and the Redskins where they were playing their best football, they are not good offensively. Another big storyline is Le'Veon Bell making his return and playing against his former team, the Pittsburgh Steelers. I am trying to see how many touches do you think Le'Veon Bell gets between the rushing game and passing game. Ideally, I'd want him at like 30. I don't think he's going to come anywhere close to that, though. I think he's probably going to be around 15 carries and maybe, I'll say, 3 receptions. So 18 total touches, which is way too low for my liking. I would like that number 25 and above. He is your best or most talented offensive player. Get the ball in his hands in more creative ways than just A-gap dives. Also, Jamal Adams is making his return this week, and I think the Jets really missed him against the Ravens. They couldn't contain Lamar Jackson at all. I think his presence is definitely felt in this game against the Pittsburgh Steelers, whether it is a sack or an interception or just getting a big pressure. I definitely think he's going to have his presence felt, and the Jets are going to have a decent day defensively. I don't expect this to be a high-scoring game. I think it's going to be a lower-scoring game. We're going to score in just a little bit, but nonetheless, I think both defenses are set up to where they could have good days. For my Sam Darnold prediction, I'm going to say he's about 19 of 31 for, let's call it 185 yards, one passing touchdown. I'll say it's to Jamison Crowder this week. That's probably a safe bet. I'm going to say no interceptions or no turnovers of any kind, which would be something positive to take away. Yes, maybe he doesn't throw for 200 yards or more. That's what I'm predicting anyway. But if he could limit the turnovers or not have any, that would be great. For me, like I said, I see a low-scoring game. I'm going to go with the Steelers in this one, though. I don't think the Jets have enough to hang with this team. The Steelers are much better coached. Like I said, they have more depth. Defense, a lot more talent at key positions. They get after the quarterback, something the Jets struggle doing at times. So I'm going to say the Steelers win this one 20-13 and keep their playoff hopes alive, while the New York Jets continue to tank and then will head into their final Week 17 matchup on the road against the Buffalo Bills. Let me know what you think is going to happen in this game in the comments, or get after me on social media at Matt O'Leary NY. Thank you so much for tuning in today, and I'll talk to you next time.